So what is it we're supposed to learn from this thing?
It does not come as a lesson to you. Someone didn't sit around and say, oh, let's see if we can bring to culmination something really big and finally once and for all we'll get their attention. There's nothing like that. It is that a whole lot of asking has culminated in this experience. And if there is something for you to gain from it, it is to ride the rocket of desire that each one of you feel. In other words, we would ask ourselves individually, what does this make me want? The other day, Esther was driving, and Jerry was sort of lying on the floor, as he often does, as she wails down the freeways. And she was having a very good time, and they'd been listening to music, and he'd been reading some emails, and there were a lot of emails with lots of questions about this, and they were contemplating putting a tape together, and then they said, Abraham doesn't seem to want to amplify this, so why should we amplify it in a dramatic way? And then, as Jerry fell asleep, Esther began entertaining herself, and she saw a sign on the back of a car that passed her that said, God Bless America. One of Esther's favorite songs. So she began singing, God Bless America. And it felt so good as she sang it. It was a gorgeous day. The leaves are turning. The sun is shining. The sky is blue. The freeway is smooth. She's empowered in her driving. She's with the love of her life. All is well in her world. And then she sang, God bless Bulgaria, and then God bless Czechoslovakia, and then God bless Denmark, and then God bless England and France and Germany. She went down the alphabet, and then she went down the alphabet again. There are a lot of countries, you know. Over and over and over through the alphabet, getting higher and higher and higher and higher in her holding all nations as pictures of well-being, all children in places of well-being. That's what we would get from it. In other words, we would understand that there is a lot more to it than you could individually understand, nor than you need to understand. But we would take the individual desire that is born within you, and that is enough. In other words, from wherever your vantage point is, the desire that is born within you. Someone said, it makes me want to love my family more. It makes me want to tell them more. Others are saying, it makes me want to appreciate my country more. Others are saying, it makes me appreciate my good timing or my own guidance system. There are endless things that come from it, but even from the horror of it comes, I'm wanting us to get along better. I'm wanting us to understand the needs of each other. I'm wanting to understand how these things come about. And we say, don't get too heavy in trying to understand the culmination. Instead, take the desire that is born within you personally and ride that rocket by playing it out in your mind's eye. In other words, envisioning. As Esther sang her song, she got happier and happier and happier as she actually felt that somehow through her focusing upon these nations, that well-being was being flowed to them through her joyful countenance. And we say to her, and it is, you see.